Hello, I'm Uzee Brown, professor and chair of the Department of Music at Morehouse College. And I would like to say a little bit about a project that has been near and dear to me really for the whole of my life, especially since having come to Morehouse, and that is an interest in collecting and capturing in some way, including by way of arrangements and compositions, that music that was idiomatic of my region of birth and the coastal region of South Carolina. I am from the Piedmont region of South Carolina, from a little town called Cowpens. It is an historic Revolutionary War town, and when I was a child, it was rich with music that was still being done in the folk way, and that is delivered by way of oral transmission in the churches, in community gatherings, social and otherwise. And so I became fascinated with a number of different music types, particularly after entering Morehouse College and coming under the influence of the late Dr. Wendell P. Whalum, who was certainly my mentor in this. He made me realize the true value of this music that otherwise may have been neglected in terms of what I knew and understand this music to be now, and its placement in the whole of the African American folk music experience. I spent hours and hours of time in the Piedmont region of South Carolina collecting data in two primary ways. One was by personal interview with elders in the community, and the other was to collect recorded materials. And two of the most valuable and rich resources for me were my mother and father, who were both themselves amateur musicians and made music all the time around the home of different kinds. My mother played the piano, my father played the guitar and the harmonica, and these folk music types were ones that were sung in my church and in surrounding communities. And interesting to me was to do a comparison of the music from the Piedmont region of South Carolina to the music from the lower part of South Carolina in the coastal region. I found some interesting similarities in that some of the music from the coastal region involved the same kind of melodies and tunes that I had heard in the Piedmont region of South Carolina. Others, interestingly enough, had similar texts with different tunes or similar tunes with different texts. So there was always this balance of what happens when something moves through region to region, and it's sort of like the word game where you pass a word on. And by oral transmission, they evolve to take on a life of their own depending upon communities. As a result of having collected this data, which represents any number of hours of recorded material on the music of the oral tradition, to include the spirituals, the lining out, shaped note singing of various other kinds of songs that were lullabies and play songs in the community. A compilation of my spirituals were done. These are arrangements affected by that oral experience by my choir, the Uzee Brown Society of Choraliers. And the title of this set is My Lord's Getting Us Ready for That Great Day. The music of Uzee Brown, sung by the Uzee Brown Society of Choraliers. And among these pieces are some of the most well-known and, in my experience, cherished pieces that are very rare and have seldom been heard in the body of music from the oral experience. So this is why I chose particularly to collect and set these particular songs, of which there are 18. And I have any number of others that I've collected over the years that may find their way into publication as well.